Jurisprudence. This is a terminology that has attracted so many people over a long period of time, and many universities developed or created faculty of jurisprudence. However, what is jurisprudence? It originally comes from Latin language of two important words, juris, then prudentia. Juris refers to law, prudentia refers to science. So this is the science of law, as many scholars would look at it. Sir William Blackstone Law Dictionary and his commentaries in 200 volumes, as well as many thinkers. And here I repeat, such jurists that gave a lot of emphasis on the African customary law, such as Taslim Elias Oluwale from Nigeria, and many other thinkers. But however, still, definition of the jurisprudence engages us either as philosophy of law, that is from philosophical approach, scientific approach, which gives it the science of law, also the theoretical approach, which gives it the theory of law. This again makes jurisprudence appear in three divisions, such as analytical jurisprudence, then sociological jurisprudence, and theoretical jurisprudence. Analytical jurisprudence is more interested in the scientific approach, the empirical approach rather. That is to give analysis to the elements of law, as well as those axioms, principles that are founded within the rules of the law. And in that case, it is more of the analysis, whereas sociological jurisprudence is more interested in looking at the impact of law on individuals within a given determined community or society. And this is bringing us again to see law and women, law and children, law and gender, law and men, law and LGBTI, law and technology. Well, this is again looking at law and its impact on the social process, and this is again law and order. Whereas theoretical jurisprudence is more interested in the theories, the universal ideas, shared values, principles, and ideals that the law stands to protect within the human society. This is a question again of universalism, the shared ideas, the ideas that recur from generation to another generation. And these ones seem not to change drastically unless some questions of research can attest and approve that. But all the same, this is where we look at the African customary law and developing an African jurisprudence, as you can see in my book. This initiative is helping us to accept more the use of the word African. I would be better speaking about Kenyan jurisprudence, Tanzanian jurisprudence, South Sudan jurisprudence, Somalia's jurisprudence, Rwandese jurisprudence, Uganda, Burundi. However, still, when it comes to the theoretical jurisprudence, it enables us to have shared concepts that we can agree together as concepts that are factual, valid, and can be used in the practice, as Ubuntu from South African jurisprudence is a question open to all of us to see if Ubuntu principle is founded within other African customary law practices. This is a question of one looking at one direction, but law is science, and this is again the position of the legal positivism, Jeremy Bentham, as well as John Austin and the following scholars that subscribe to the positivist approach to the understanding of law, such as Herbert Adolphus Hart. We have Ronald Dworkin, and there are other thinkers, John Finnis, Lon Fuller. We have such as Joseph Ratz, and many other high-level legal thinkers that have redefined the philosophy of law, which we refer to as the jurisprudence. But from the African perspective, we need also to admit that African jurists have adversely immersed themselves in what I call the Western legal civilization. So much so that not so much has been documented on the African approach to the legal studies. The question of customary law would be the backdrop on which we can carry out our discussion and conversations on developing a jurisprudence known as African jurisprudence. That is African philosophy of law, African theory of law, as well as African science of law. There is nothing stopping us from doing this because we need to challenge ourselves, since our societies are getting increasingly pluralistic and metropolitan cities coming up. Many African states are experiencing already such conflicts that attract the interest of law and the question of justice. So it is a matter of time and migration, urbanization, globalization, different processes that are happening at the same time. That is why, no wonder, in many European states, there is much interest in understanding and teaching African studies, African customary law, African traditions, African cultures, because they want to understand better the African people and to integrate such people who are not originally from the European cultures. The same to the United States of America, the question of African American presence there, as well as Black Americans. This brings more interest of jurists to develop very, very strong and serious concern about African customary law and its tenets within the justice system. But this is not far from Africa, and I do believe that so much is happening, and we'll get Africans that will do the work Sir William Blackstone did in collecting commentaries and coming up with volumes on the English law. We know of Odunga Digest. Justice George Odunga in Kenya has done his compendium, and this is already encouraging us. This is another Blackstone in Africa. We have seen Taslim Olawale taking us through the nature of African customary law. So many people are writing about the nature and future of African customary law and how African customary law can make sense and become compatible and have some correlations with the trends of law, such as constitution, such as the rule of law and the human rights. Such kinds of things are bringing us to a forum of making a sound conversation on the African jurisprudence. I invite you to read and see the books that are available. These books, you can find them online. And thank you for watching. Peter here once again. Remember to subscribe, and bye-bye for now.